though are already affecting Delta flights in and out of the Buffalo Niagara International Airport.
So we sent 7 Eyewitness News reporter Liz Lewin to the airport. She's checking it out this morning. What do you need to know if you're flying Delta today, Liz?
Well, Ed and Katie, I've been monitoring the Delta board over there. Just posted a new picture on Twitter. The delays continue. An arriving flight from LaGuardia to Buffalo has been delayed due to the IT outage, and a departing flight from Buffalo to JFK also has been delayed due to the IT outage. And many other cities are being affected by this, and representatives from Delta are taking to Twitter with tireless updates, trying to keep customers informed of the situation. Many of them agitated, angry, and still in the dark about what's next. When will their flight take off, if it even will? WKBW Sports Director Joe Buscaglia was one of those flyers affected and says he's lucky to have landed a rerouted flight from Atlanta to Buffalo this morning, but many other flyers won't be in the air in Atlanta until 9 p.m., causing even more outrage at the Delta gates.
People went crazy. Like there were people screaming, "Where are our compensation?" Like people screaming at the gate agent. The gate agent said that he would have to call the cops if this continued. I mean, it got real in a hurry.
Now, as per Delta's Twitter page, I've been monitoring that as well. They are trying to apologize to as many flyers and customers as quickly as possible. Notably, people are very upset. They're also saying that they are working to compensate flights that have been canceled or delayed due to the outage as they continue to fix the problem. But again, given the amount of rerouted flights, it's making for an even more frustrating situation for some. I've been talking to Delta employees here as well. They say a majority of the flights are on time, both departing and arriving. But again, 3 changes here out of Buffalo Niagara, 1 canceled flight and 2 delays. For flyers, be sure to monitor Delta's website as well as their social media pages as they continue to keep you updated in real time. For now, we are live at Buffalo Niagara International Airport. Liz Lewin, 7 Eyewitness News.
Liz, thank you. 6:17 on a Monday morning. There was a lot going on around town, including the meat raffle that we were a part of.
Good times Friday night.
Disney on Ice was here this weekend as well, and there was also Super Sunday's Phone-a-thon for the Jewish Federation of Buffalo, and I was more than happy to participate, calling some folks around Western New York trying to raise at least $50,000 for the Jewish services and programs around town. A lot of this money stays right here in Western New York, and we, I believe, achieved that goal. Many people volunteered their time as well outside of the folks here at Channel 7. Ray Walter was there, the assemblyman. A lot of people helping to raise that money.
A nice way to spend a Sunday afternoon. Hey, what would you do if somebody called and they said that you owed several $100s for past debt and you had to either pay it immediately or you'd be facing going to court?
Consumer reporter John Matarese shows us what could happen so you don't waste your money.
People everywhere are answering their phones only to find a debt collector on the other end. That's a debt they have no recollection of owing. Well, one man is dealing with these calls, and what he learned is helpful advice to all of us.
Sam Powers received a frightening call on his cell phone claiming someone was filing a civil complaint against him.
My heart went into my throat and I thought, oh my gosh, what did I do?
The woman said failure to respond may result in immediate legal action. Sam didn't know what to do.
I got a little information online, couldn't locate this law firm, couldn't find any information about this at all.
We checked the number that called him and found no company connected to it, only complaints about similar threatening calls. An attorney who specializes in debt collections calls these zombie debt collectors and says they try to scare hardworking people into paying debts that may not be theirs.
If you think about it, the best people to go after are those with good credit reports, those with no debt, because those are the people that are going to be able to pay.
The good news is you don't have to talk to a debt collector on the phone. You have the right under law to demand that they send it to you in the good old-fashioned U.S. mail.
The FTC's Fair Debt Collection Practices Act states that a debt collector must tell you the name of the original creditor. They must tell you that you have the right to dispute the debt and that you can demand written verification. Sam now realizes they may not even have his personal info.
They said that something was tied to my name and social security number, but they didn't say my name or my social security number.
So if you get a call like this, demand it all in writing, then hang up.
Whatever you do, the most important thing is to never give them your Social Security number over the phone and never agree to pay them anything until you see it in writing, so you don't waste your money. I'm John Mattery, 7 Eyewitness News.
Well, really cold out there this weekend. A lot of people staying in, maybe doing a little bit of this, Sandy.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. Take a look at the leaderboard. After this weekend, the cold weather certainly drives in the votes. And look at the tie, the log jam there in second place. Smallwood Drive still has the lead, but their lead a little smaller than what it was going into the weekend. Glendale hops up. A.J. Schmidt, Panama, all kind of tight in here. A little bit of real estate before you get to Willow Ridge and Attica, but all of these schools are going to be added again today. Now, the weather word that you want to use for this Monday as we move that snow tire out of the way, some slick spots, maybe not on the roads per se, but boy, the side streets and parking lots, watch out. That's your tip of the day. Take this word to WKBW.com. If you're a parent, friend, relative, go ahead and do it too. It doesn't have to be a student to do it. We encourage alumni as well. Enter the word slick and hit submit. You can do it as often as you like. It'll tell you how you're doing. Let's go ahead and look at what we have, how we're doing up here in Lockport. Some light snow as we've been watching the mobile weather lab this morning. Again, wet roads, anything that's salted is A-OK. None of this is real heavy, just flurry activity through Amherst as we slide down into the southern tier where we saw the lake effect snow fade away on Sunday. You have nothing more than flurries anywhere from Silver Creek all the way down to Salamanca and Ripley this morning. Now the forecast for the next 7 keeps it quiet today. About an inch or two tomorrow. Very manageable, but it looks like by the time we wake up Wednesday, could have a couple inches on the ground for your ride into work. Again, not a big deal, but we all know what just an inch or two of snow during that morning commute does. And look at the temperatures chilling out. Only the teens on Friday. That's where we begin this morning. Our palette of purple as we start things off. No big wind chills to talk about. And here's how the hour-by-hour forecast takes us through a flurry of activity on Monday. That is it. Maybe even a few peeks at the sunshine. The next weather system starts to show up here during the course of Tuesday morning. That'll bring some light snow along Route 86, but the north towns, no problems there. By the afternoon, some of that starts bleeding into Buffalo. We'll find light snow on the order of an inch or two during the evening commute. Then that'll continue during the overnight, setting the stage for, again, a little bit of snow by Wednesday morning on the ground for the north town. So no, we are not talking feet. We're not even looking at a foot. We're probably in that maybe 3 to 5 inch range, enough to force you to get the shovel out one more time, but you'll be able to scrape that off. Once you do, there's not much after this other than a shot of cold. So we'll see some snow showers Thursday, and then we chill out right on into the weekend.
Andy, thank you. A popular coffee chain taking a stand. We'll tell you what Starbucks says it's going to do in response to President Trump's immigration order.
And if you didn't get your free bottle of Big Mac sauce from McDonald's last week, you still have a chance, but it'll cost you. We'll explain coming up. 6:22, you're watching 7 Eyewitness News.
It is 6:25 on your Monday morning. Starbucks taking a stand against President Trump's immigration order by creating more jobs specifically for refugees.
The company's CEO, Howard Schultz, will give jobs to 10,000 refugees all around the world over the next 5 years. Schultz also said people who served with U.S. troops will be hired first. First, driving directions, then available parking, now restaurant wait times.
Ooh.
The newest update from Google Maps now uses real-time data to let you know how crowded a restaurant is. A pink bar and descriptions like "not too busy" appear. It also estimates how long people usually spend at a specific restaurant so you can better plan your time.
Good idea.
How about McDonald's? An update now to a story we told you about as they hand out 10,000 bottles of their Big Mac sauce for free. Now we're seeing them pop up on eBay as well.
Yeah, people trying to cash in, and bottles are going for as much as $100,000 each. But if you search hard enough, you could score one for as low as $100. Again, when we say stuff like this, you got to actually find someone who's paying $100,000.
And who may or may not want Big Mac sauce.
Straight ahead. We'll tell you what President Trump is doing to make sure refugees stay safe during this nationwide travel ban.
And while we're waiting for Uber here in Western New York, others are protesting the company and even deleting the app. We'll explain why at 6:45.
Hey, be careful when you take that first step out the door. There are some icy patches. The forecast for today and the rest of the work week coming your way live from the weather outside after this short break.
Bottom of the hour on a Monday morning, we are just arriving on the scene of a house fire in the town of Niagara. New pictures and information coming into the live desk next.
Protests are erupting across the country, and now President Trump is weighing in on his travel ban.
2 suspects on the loose. We'll tell you where this happened and why police need your help.
There's some light snow to start off this Monday, and there's more on the way. I'll let you know when it arrives in your backyard, live from the weather outside.
You're watching 7 Eyewitness News with Andy Parker, Katie Morse, Ed Dranch, and Autumn Lewandowski.
Good morning, everyone. It's 6:30 on a Monday morning. Thanks for joining us here on 7 Eyewitness News. What would you do if you were stuck in the airport and told your flight would be delayed until 9 o'clock the next night?
A lot of people not really happy.
No.
Listen to this. Well, she was yelling. She says she has a sick child who can't stay there until 9 o'clock. And, you know, you can understand why parents would be so upset about that. This is, of course, coming following those Delta delays that are causing uproar across the U.S. That was Joe B's Twitter. He's on his way back home here, and he's telling us how everything shook out in the airport where he was.
Yeah, that's coming up at 6:40 for you this morning. But first, let's get you out the door with the most accurate forecast. Andy Parker's out in the cold.
Yeah, literally out here it is. Teens to begin the day, and we have some light snow showers coming down. Not that much today. I want to allay any fears that you're going to get buried in. As a matter of fact, this work week, more nuisance than anything else. Let's start you off with what we have outside on 7 Super Doppler this morning. Boy, it's not the snow coming down that'll be the problem. It's the slick spots underneath your feet. As we can all attest to here this morning, there are some icy patches in the parking lots, and there are some flurries coming down in the north towns. Lockport, we've been watching you up in Niagara County, adding a light dusting to what you already have on the ground. Let's slide over to Niagara Falls. You can see some of the dark blue moving through both of those areas, across Grand Island as well. Here in the city and some of the immediate suburbs, some light snow showers into Clarence and let's see, Williamsville. We were there this morning with the mobile weather lab. Now let's go back and show you. Look at this. Hey, East Aurora, we're watching the south towns. Your temperatures are going up. You were down as low as 11 a few hours ago, but now a warm 13 to begin the day. Factor in the wind, and there's not much out there. That's good news there. Hey, 18 is what we have in the city. Let's go ahead and look at other numbers across the region. You can see everybody's chilly this morning, but watch what comes. Here we go. Let's go ahead and get the snow stick out for today as we only see a few flurries around. 23 is our top temperature without much wind and not much snow. Now, as we go ahead and give you the snow index, this is for Tuesday and Wednesday, a combo. It arrives Tuesday afternoon and it ends Wednesday morning. Only moving that arrow into maybe the 2 to 4 inch range. Not a big deal, but time of day could be a messy morning commute on Wednesday. I'll break it down for you in the 7-day forecast back indoors.
6:33 on a Monday morning. We're continuing to follow breaking news this morning out of the town of Niagara in Niagara County. Our breaking news photographer Jim Herr on the scene, Parkwood Lane, where this fire started just before 6 o'clock this morning. You can see here on the right side of the screen all of this insulation tossed out of the house with that ladder set up to the second floor. Looks as if the fire is out right now. Firefighters inside trying to find the cause and source of this fire. At this point, we don't know if anyone was inside or if anyone's been hurt, but once we get some more information from the scene, we'll let you know both at the live desk and on our WKBW app. Also breaking overnight, 6 people are dead, 2 arrested in a shooting inside a Canadian mosque, now being called a terror attack. Few details are available about the shooting itself, but Quebec provincial police say 8 people were hurt here. At least 3 dozen people escaped, and rallies are now being held across the country today, across the province rather, to honor the victims as a sign of solidarity.
Protesters are taking to the streets in cities across the country. This was the scene outside the Los Angeles International Airport. Demonstrators sounding off against President Trump's travel ban. Lawyers also flocked to airports. They were offering free legal assistance to anybody who was being detained because of that order. Now, the president is defending his action on Facebook. He says in part, this is not a Muslim ban, as the media is falsely reporting. This is not about religion. This is about terror and keeping our country safe.
A Navy SEAL is dead, killed targeting al-Qaeda in Yemen. This is the first service member's death during an operation authorized by President Trump. 3 other Navy SEALs were hurt, and White House officials say their sacrifices were not in vain. During the raid, U.S. servicemen killed more than a dozen enemy fighters. The U.S. also lost an Osprey aircraft during the raid. All new this morning, we're learning President Trump is working with the King of Saudi Arabia to help refugees while they're banned from the United States. The president spoke with the King of Saudi Arabia yesterday, who agreed to support safe zones for refugees in Syria and Yemen. These 2 leaders also committed working together to fight terrorism and other threats in the Middle East.
6:34, and police are searching for suspects after a fight started outside the Boulevard Mall.
And this all ended violently when a guy was stabbed there. 7 Eyewitness News reporter Tweelan Nugent live for us in the newsroom. Tweelan, what's the latest on the investigation?
Good morning, Anna Katie. Not a lot here, which is why Amherst police are looking for your help. But let me start by telling you how this all unfolded on Friday. Police say a 47-year-old man from Newfane was stabbed leaving the Boulevard Mall on Friday. They say two men, described as black men in their 20s, walked up to him and there was a fight. The man was stabbed in the arm and the chest. Police say the suspects took off in a silver car. Now, at this time, we don't know the condition of the man, and we don't have a lot of suspect leads. That's why anyone with information is encouraged to call the Amherst Police Department. Live in the newsroom, I'm Tweelan Nugent, 7 Eyewitness News.
Tweelan, thank you. A 25-year-old man is facing charges after Amherst police say he led them on a car chase in a stolen car. It happened yesterday around 3:30 in the afternoon. Police say that chase started at Main Street in Bailey and it continued on to Fillmore Ave. It finally ended at Gessel Street. Police say the suspect crashed into a University of Buffalo patrol car and two other cars along the way.
6:36, the opioid epidemic will be front and center in Albany today as lawmakers from the state's 62 counties meet for an annual conference. Erie County Executive Mark Polenkars will speak during the conference of the State Association of Counties. Lawmakers are expected to talk about ways to fund the state's 911 system too. They'll also talk about bringing ride-sharing services like Uber and Lyft to upstate New York.
It is 6:36 on your Monday morning. Getting ready for the start of your week, and autumn's getting you out on the roads.
It's a crunchy beginning, especially as you're walking out to the car. You'll also have some areas where it is all ice, especially on untreated surfaces. So be very mindful as you take a few steps outside, along with going over bridges and overpasses. Your side streets are still snow covered in spots as well. But we're taking a look through Niagara Falls, and again in Niagara, where there was that house fire that they're working on. So the few homes that are right along that roadway in between Woodside and then also Elsa Place, that's right off of Military. So this is the neighborhood that you're going to be dealing with here. So if you're on the 190, this is how we're looking right at Packard. Since we're up that way, take a look at it in both directions. Again, your bridges and your overpasses, you want to think about a little bit more so as we go throughout our morning. Tap on your brakes a little bit earlier and maybe not tap as hard because you might be sliding around a little bit. Now, if you're going to be on the 90 and then coming to the 219, this is just after you pass Ridge Road, and also you can get off for the 90. That's right before a mile strip. This is where we have the right lane closed down because of a disabled vehicle. Things are moving a little bit slower there as well at 38 miles an hour.
Autumn, thank you. 6:38, 1 million acres destroyed. The latest is a devastating fire tears through Chile and neighbors have to leave.
One canceled Delta flight scheduled to depart from Buffalo to Atlanta this morning, the product of an IT outage. The latest from Delta Airlines coming up.
I'm just searching. I'm crying. I'm searching.
Yeah, wait until you hear what this woman was looking for. Animal lovers, you got to stay with us to hear this story. You're watching 7 Eyewitness News at 6. It is 6:40 on your Monday morning. Chaos in airports across the country after Delta grounded flights because of computer problems. Our Joe B, one of the passengers, stuck. He's been tweeting throughout the night and into the morning. Here he reports that one patron called the airport a voluntary prison.
Yeah.
Another screamed, "Where's the compensation?" Joe's going to be making his way back home shortly, but a lot of other people still trying to figure out when they'll be getting home.
Yeah, they first told him that he'd be on a flight at 9 o'clock tonight, but then he finagled his way onto a flight that leaves at 8 o'clock this morning,
That's
thankfully.
Joe B.
It's a problem, though, that's affecting a lot of people across the country and here in Western New York. 7 Eyewitness News reporter Liz Lewin live for us at the airport. Liz, what are you seeing on the big board out there?
2 flights have been delayed now here on the board. You can see it, one to JFK, another from LaGuardia. The other flight canceled from Buffalo to Atlanta after yesterday's outage. And representatives from Delta continue to monitor the aftermath on Twitter, keeping customers informed of the situation. Many flyers still agitated and angry about what's next. WKBW Sports Director Joe B was one of those flyers affected. He says he's lucky to have landed a new flight from Atlanta to Buffalo this morning, but many other flyers won't be in the air until 9 p.m.
It was a whole outage. I mean, there were planes being rerouted everywhere. Planes that were supposed to come to Atlanta that ended up going to different cities because they had to land and they just didn't have space for all these planes. So a lot of frustration, a long night for everybody, travelers, gate agents, everything. So, you know, you feel for those guys, but, you know, traveling can be frustrating sometimes, as we all well know.
And it looks like it could be a long day. Delta is still working to compensate flyers for yesterday's inconvenience, but for now, it appears many flyers just want answers. I spoke to a Delta agent. She says for the latest on delays and cancellations, flyers should stay up to date with their website and their app. For now, we are live at Buffalo Niagara International Airport. Liz Lewin, 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Liz, thank you very much.